I am a CH. Ah, glory. I am a CH. I am a CHRISTIAN. First of all, you love it when I start the podcast singing. You know you love it. So why would I stop? Why would I stop doing the podcast singing songs when you love it so much? That song has been down in my spirit today. I don't know why. Maybe we need to bring back Vacation Bible School. I'm not sure. This is your girl, SJR, and you are listening to the Woman Evolve podcast. First things first, not by myself. Not by myself, never ever. Okay. The delegation would never leave me by myself. I'm coming to you live, okay, with the delegation, and we're tuning in from literally all over the world. Okay. We got Amber Ellison from San Diego. You better rep. Okay. We've got Houston, Texas in the building. We've got Yadon, Pennsylvania. Tell me. Um, Come on vacation. Somebody said yes, glowing skin. Well, it's hot in here. I don't think the air is on, but we gonna take it. Okay, Brianna Him says, if anything, we beating you here, sis. You never by yourself. Let me tell you something. The delegation is in full effect. If this is your first time listening, let me run it back for you real quick. Child, listen. We get together live on Tuesdays. You hear it on the podcast on Wednesday because we need each other. Life is real all of the time. It never takes any time off. And so we get together and we talk about what's happening in the world, how we're processing it. We grow together, we evolve together, but most importantly, we connect together. That's why I'm never, ever on my own. BK Murdoch said, Funky Town, Texas. What you know about that Funky Town, Fort Worth in the building? Okay. Naisa says, Ohio, make some noise, make some noise. I saw somebody asked earlier, do we have a Charlotte Woman Evolve group? And we need one. That's what I know for sure. Okay. Snooty Poo said the text reminder, though. I did send a text message like, hey, slide on right quick, real fast if you be in this space. How y'all doing? Are you drinking your water? Come on. First of all, okay, listen. All right. So, first of all, never by myself. Second of all, mind your business ministries. It's a thing. Lots going on here at Woman Evolve. We call ourselves a delegation. We're a part of Mind Your Business Ministries. We're also dissolving. It's a whole lot. Just get your notepad, keep notes, keep up. All right. So, here's the thing. Are you drinking your water? And are you minding your business? Okay. That's what we need to know. Are you drinking your water? Are you minding your business? Because I mean, let's talk about fundamentals of life. If you're not drinking your water and you're not minding your business, like really, what is you doing? Stanley says, drinking my water with frozen fruits. Oh, she classy. Okay. You better. Lolita says, I'm definitely minding my business and drinking my water. It is necessary. Okay. It's necessary. Jay Nicole says, I've been drinking my water. Come on now. Natalie says, child, no water this week. I've been at Trader Joe's. Help me, child. I'm praying for you. You got to drink your water. Victoria says, are we talking about that fly on Penn's head today? Oh, Lord. Okay, so lots to cover here. I need to know if you're drinking your water. I need to know if you're minding your business. If you are dissolving, okay, everyone, this is not for you. Some of you all have, you've texted me and you said, sis, I don't need to dissolve. I need to evolve. I need to gain some weight. We're not talking to you for a minute, although we will pray for you that God would give you everything that we lose in the process. But for those of you who have joined Woman Dissolve, what's happening? How's your workouts going? How's that lettuce? Does it taste like barbecue chicken yet? Huh? That's what I need to know. Chandra Gray, she's Chandra Gary says, I dissolved 2 pork tacos, pinto beans, rice, guacamole, and chips. Okay, okay. Okay, so do I need to define what I mean by dissolving? Because it's not about us dissolving food off our plate, really. It's about dissolving food off our waist. And I can see how you could get that mixed up because sometimes plate and waist, if you say them fast, could sound alike, but that's not right. That's not exactly what I meant. Desiree say, definitely been drinking water and dissolving. I'm down 45 pounds. You better be somebody's goal. Jay says, don't judge me, sis. I ain't even weighed in because I feel like my body's still evolving. Let me tell you something. What you will never have to worry about is me judging you because you are where you are. You're listening to this podcast and you're hearing about people losing weight. You're on your timeline and people are working out. Let me tell you something, sis. Take your time. Do it at your own pace. If you're not ready, don't hit the trigger. If you still need to eat some of your feelings, eat them. I just want to encourage you whenever you're ready that we're over here struggling on the other side. It's not like you go from I need to eat my feelings to I'm a fitness enthusiast. Not for me. It's just that I've just decided to lock down and this is where I am. And so I've been dissolving, you know. I'm at a time in my life right now where I know I'm gonna be holding on to water. So I'm not even gonna bother with the scale. What I know for sure is 187 is what I last seen, and 187 is what God wants in my spirit. Where did I start though? 195, and God is faithful. Okay, so after this week of when I know I'm gonna be holding on to water, I'm gonna get on the scale and I'm believing for decrease. Sometimes in church we talk about I'm believing in increase. I want to talk to the saints who are believing in decrease. Okay. Increase in my bank account, decrease on my waistline. That's where I am. Okay. How about that? Renee says, my salads be tasting like pork chops. God is still faithful. If you close your eyes, it works. Malika says she down 4 pounds. 4 pounds is amazing. T says dissolving gradually, 15 pounds down. Gradually? 15 pounds is 15 pounds. I'm not down 15 pounds. As you can see, I'm, 8 pounds, but 8 pounds is 8 pounds. 8 pounds, you're not going to take, no, we're going to celebrate these 8 pounds like they're 80. We are, because who are we to not celebrate what God is doing on the inside of us? Okay. Cache says, decrease the waistline, increase the hips. Woman want to be fine. Okay. Let's see. Sarita Baker says, I'm dissolving, but right now I'm eating cake. God could do both. You could do both at the same time if you do one of them most of the time. You see what I'm saying? You can dissolve most of the time and eat cake some of the time, and it'll all be fine. Okay, Shakina says she down 5 pounds. You better praise Phillips says she down 17 pounds from the start of the year. God is good and we'll take it. Okay. Crystal says, I'm down 18 pounds in 3 weeks. Just had a baby 3 weeks ago. Won't he do? You better. I just had a baby too. 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And Nico Hart posted her picture and she, everybody's like, she just had a baby and she got the little ab line that I'm trying to purchase this on layaway right now. And I said, well, I just had a baby too. Be patient with yourself. The lies you tell yourself are the most important. When she just had a baby and I just had one too. My baby 4. Just because my baby 4 years old and her is 4 hours old don't mean we ain't just had babies. We just had babies. She said, seemed it was just yesterday. When y'all comment, y'all be like, it was just yesterday you was pregnant. You're right. I just had a baby and I'm trying to get rid of my baby weight. So boom shakalaka. Okay. Tiffany said, sis, I just had a baby 3 years ago. Shout out to all the people who just had baby years ago. We matter. Just because y'all's babies is weeks old don't mean that those of us with years old babies matter. Our baby lives matter too. Huh? What I'm trying to say is what I said. Okay. Don't disqualify us because our kids have teeth. Okay, just because our kids are in school don't mean that we don't have baby weight. Okay. Eva says, I just had a baby 16 years ago. Testify. Who wants to testify in the comments? Who just had a baby a few years ago? 18, 15, 16 years ago. Raquel, I just had a baby and mine is 8. We matter. Okay. Tyra says, yes, my baby will be 3 Friday. Listen, I'm 32. My mama tell me all the time I'm like her baby. She just had a baby 32 years ago. Do the math. Okay. Natalie said, I ain't got no baby and I still fluffy. Boom shakalaka, God is good. But you know what? You know what you did just have? Friends who just had babies and you went through it with us. Don't worry, everybody's included in this. Sometimes, I have a word for you. Sometimes the baby weight is not from carrying a child. Sometimes it's, remember when you had baby fat as a child? When baby fat years ago, you about 8. You know how you hit that awkward stage of 8 where you haven't developed yet? I say about 8 to 11. And it's like, oh, that's just baby weight. She going to grow up. Maybe we was carrying that baby weight from 8. Okay. Maureen said, I just had my baby 27 years ago. That's ignorant to is this whole baby years ago thing ignorant? Because it feels honestly, it feels good. Melissa says, "My husband is my baby." And that counts. How long y'all been married? You just had your baby how many years ago? It all counts. Laura said it right. She says, "I have sympathy, baby weight." I like it. Okay. And Tree says, "Yeah, my friends had babies, so I think it just came up on me." I like it. Amir talking about we gonna have to define the word just. No, no, no. Okay. So yeah, I just had a baby too. Me and Nico, Maureen, we all just had babies and we still recovering. Okay. So this is what y'all should know though. That was probably Eve who said that, but that's all right because we rescue Eve. For those of you who don't understand, rescue Eve is when you know better but don't do better. And the reason why we rescue Eve is because Eve knew better but didn't do better in the garden. Sis had one job. Wow. Wow, you had one job and yet you didn't do it. But we've all had one job: leave him, walk away, go to school. We've all had one job and failed in some capacity. So we have grace for Eve. Why would we call this segment Rescue Eve? Because Rescue Eve is when we take a moment and we look at people who are still out here even in their life. You're still out here knowing better, but not doing better. But that's okay. We're going to rescue you. We're going to bring you to a new level and a new way of being. Okay. I just want you all to know that in the comments, the saints are testifying about when they just had their babies. Okay. Jelena just had her baby 4 years ago, also. All right. How about that? MJ said, I had mine 10 months ago. Yours actually count. Whereas I'm not sure about ours, but that's all right. Latasha says, I'm low key mad at Eve. We all were. We all were until we realized that Eve is me and I am Eve. Okay. So stop even. I like it. I like it. Can we write that down? Stop even. Where is that? That was Jenny. Jenny said stop even. I mean, I guess I said it in the thing, but she typed it out and it stood out in my mind when she said it. Stop even is going on something. You heard it here first. T-shirts, mask, maybe mask because what's about to come out your mouth be like Eve, and then God be like, stop even. We're gonna wear these masks when the virus is over. All right, listen. First of all, Star Perez wants to know, do food babies count? LOL. Absolutely. Absolutely, food babies count. We count all of them. Okay, so all right. Rescue Eve, people who cutting up, those people not us. These are people in the news. Y'all, okay. So there's a little boy whose parents wanted to surprise him. Let's talk about kids for a minute, since we talking about baby weight and just having kids. Okay. His parents surprised him. They painted his room, okay? You know how kids, they grow out of different stages of their room and you try to let the room grow with them. And so he finally became eligible for his blessing. That was the first message my husband ever preaches. Be eligible for your Are you eligible for your blessing? I can't remember the title fully, but it was about blessings and eligibility. Anyways, this young man became eligible for his blessing. His parents painted his room and put up a camera to catch his reaction. Y'all, the little boy comes into the room, takes it in, not smiling. He says, well, that was rude. He said, well, that was rude because they painted the room without him. Can I just say, you know, I want to rescue this little boy. Yes, I know he should be grateful. Okay. This ain't about what he should be. This is about where he is. Have you ever had somebody bless you in a way you didn't want to be blessed? I don't even want to call it a blessing, huh? I want to call it something different. Have you ever had somebody give you something you don't want? I admire this little boy. Imagine telling people when they gave you something you don't want that it was rude. I don't can we I mean, sure. Okay, I see the delegation. First of all, Adele says children be so ungrateful. Kids be so Sidebar, kids be so ungrateful. They don't even know it. But sidebar, we're trying to rescue him, so I can't even get into that. Let me put on my can I put on my cape, please? And please don't snatch my cape away. Can I say this? What if we just told people? What if we just told people like, nah, this ain't what I want? Huh? How do you all what do you all think? Now it says, dang, he act like he got socks for Christmas. Loria says, normalize allowing people to communicate their preference. Normalize it. Shayna says, can we borrow his? I want his confidence. I can. How many times have you had to fake? How many times have you had to fake? He just didn't have it for us today. And sure, maybe he should know better so that he could do better. But maybe also, how about that? Ashley says, nah, if he didn't like it, that's his business. Nah, nah, nah. How about that? Lydia says, rescue because he just don't like it. I don't like it. Jaleesa says, he don't know no better rescue. I'm thinking about it. Marla says, it's rude that he doesn't pay a bill. No rescue. Well, that has closed my case. Let me put my let me put my briefcase away. What's rude is that you don't pay bills. What's rude is that you got clothes on your back that I pay. What's you want to talk about rude? You want to talk about rude? Rude is you asking me for stuff all of the time that costs money. I can tell you about rude. Trini says, I wonder how the parents felt. They thought it was funny because they put it on TikTok. Chic and Classy said, SJR, I think you need a box for kids, not just parents. I do need about I do need to work on that box. Okay. China Edwards says rescue. He's transparent. April T. Jones says saying such as look at this. Oh my, that's so exactly when you're fake. Oh, can we talk about responses when you're trying to fake a gift that you like really ooh wow. Rebecca says, I won't be changing the color. I bet you by golly, wow. How about that? I bet you one thing is it may have been rude, but it's all you got because what I'm not going to do is paint it again. What do y'all say when y'all get gifts from people y'all don't want? Shakina says, my parents rude, bless me all the time. Clothes, shoes. You've got a word. Frida says, no rescue. That's their extra room another kid will love. Why? Let me tell you something about parents. We will take your whole life from you in just a moment, just a blink of an eye. Oh, you don't want it? Oh, you don't want it? Oh, someone else would be glad to have what you got. My kids were talking about family vacation, and I just could not help but ask them, do y'all have family vacation money? I couldn't. I wanted. I tried to suppress it. It had been after a long day at work, but it was the first thing that came out of my mind. Do y'all have family vacation money? It's 18,000 of y'all. How about that? Don says, I don't think it's what he expresses, more over how he says and expresses things. Yes, if I had to go into my box, what would I say to a child that said, well, that was rude? I can understand your disappointment and that you weren't a part of this moment. However, we thought that it would be nice to celebrate you and surprise you in this way. Do you at least like it? I don't know. My box won't work for that because I just redecorated Kenzie's room for her birthday. And sis, I wish you would. Okay. What is y'all's fake reaction to Deanna says rescue the boy. Info says rescue the boy. Those colors will give him nightmares. Mariah says rescue that child. He just wanted to say, okay, we can rescue. We can rescue. I like it. Okay. Jelena says, let's have a family staycation. Let's sure enough. Sure enough. Virus. What is family vacation if it's not all of us sitting up looking at each other all day, every day? Vacate. That's where it is. Okay. Um, how about that? Uh the Saints Frida says he can change the paint when he pays for it. Because no, because then you're gonna say you can't paint in my house. Okay. Why do y'all give kids options like when you have like my son just turned 18 and I think he felt like a new level of life was going to be open to him, but it's pretty much like, you still got to ask me to go places. Just cuz you have money don't mean that you can have Postmates come to our house any time of the day. It's pretty much still what it was before. You know what I mean? Ain't much really not much in the game has changed really. Okay? How about that? Okay, so we're going to rescue with a life jacket. Classy 1 am says we're going to rescue with a life jacket. We love a good life jacket. Okay, Sahar says rescue this little boy. I like it. I like it. So D Riddell talks about she's talking about my voice changing when it comes from the box cuz you can't talk from the box and be yourself at the same time. And that's why some of you all, I feel this for you. That's why some of you all are struggling with the box because you can't hear the box coming out of your mouth. Change your mouth. Become someone different when you tap into the box until it becomes natural. Okay. How about that? Okay. Our next question. Oh, y'all. Oh, sis. If Eve was living in present day, this next story is her. Can I ask y'all a question? What are y'all talking to y'all's friends? Are y'all helping them through stuff? Because your friends are out here making questionable. And I know y'all. I know, you know what? Now that I'm saying this out loud, you're not talking to your friends because your friends didn't listen. And that's why you shut up and allowed them to do whatever. I just want you to know that one of y'all's homegirls went to Target in a wedding dress, roaming the aisles looking for her boyfriend who works there with the pastor and a bridesmaid to follow. And she told bruh, I'm tired of the games. I'm done with it. I'm tired of you acting like you want to marry me, but you just putting things together. Okay, this is what she told him. She said, you put this ring on my finger 2 years ago, and it's time to do it or get out. She said, I brought a pastor. I brought Emily. She's my bridesmaid. He is still in his Target uniform. She says, we're getting married now or like it's over. Can I say, can I say I want to rescue her? Let me tell you what. Let me tell you. Let me tell you why I want to rescue her. I want to rescue her because she made him make a decision. Stop wasting my time. You know what? I would like to rescue her because too many of us, for every woman who let somebody waste her time, I want to rescue her. Sure, it's extreme. Sure, it's Eve. Sure, it's Eve. Sure, we could never. But what I'm admiring is that she wasn't sitting back waiting another year. Please, please. Aaliyah says we can't rescue her SJR cuz what? Cuz she said now or never. Alberta said she gets the jet. I like it. I like it. I know all of the reasons why I shouldn't. Kara, you have a great question. Why she got on that fanny pack? What she got in there in case he said no? It's a great question. I can't focus on that. I have to focus on what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, what I said. Okay. Um, Jelena says, you've got that right. Rescue this poor girl. Can we rescue her? Now, don't you sit up there acting like you ain't never been Eve, knowing better but not doing better while you waited for somebody else to make up their mind. Let me tell you something. One of the things that I am constantly talking to my girls about is like sometimes they be talking to guys, they don't really know what they want. Let's just be friends. Let's not put labels on it. Let's just wait and see what happens. And we go with that for a little bit, right? We go with that for a little bit, but then we get a little frustrated, we get a little anxious, and we start saying, I wish you would bust a move, I wish you would make a move, but we don't say nothing because we don't want to put no pressure on nobody. But there is something to be said about a woman who is like, what is this? Numbers in your pocket. Who gave you a reason to act so shady? First of all, was that 112? Did 112, was that not Slim making a guest appearance on the Woman Evolve podcast? Leah Daniel says, absolutely not. This is something you do at Walmart. So we don't care about we don't care about what she did, it's where she did it. Okay. All right. Victoria says, "Sis, I can't use a life jacket on that." There's not one person. Okay, Joanne says rescue with that jet. I'm telling you, there is something to be said about a woman on the pot or not. Okay. Shanae says, rescue her, send the jet. Can we please send the jet? Sahara says, rescue her for the embarrassment. Embarrassed is right. Embarrassed is right. Brianna Spears says, rescue her for going after what she wants. Put some pressure on it. That's what I'm saying. You talking about you want to get married? You didn't gave me this ring 2 years ago, but what are you talking about? Let me tell you something. If you're listening right now and you're trying to be that girl that doesn't add any pressure and you've been investing your time, because here's the problem: you invest all of this energy and time into one person and you give them space to choose. I'm going to give you time to choose me, to see my value, to see my worth, all while I'm here. And you know what happens? We just start lowering the bar little by little. Okay, we don't have to be in a relationship. We can just be friends. But we're giving relationship attention, relationship investment to somebody who has not said they want to be in a relationship. And there comes a point when you just have to be like, straight up, what's up? Okay, because I'm talking to you like we in a relationship, but we're not. Okay, so if you're going to be my friend, you're going to get this friend treatment. Okay, I'm not giving you good morning text. I don't care how your day went. Okay, I'm not checking on your mama and them. I don't care about your friends. Okay, I'm not doing all of that. That's for relationships. Hmm. How about that? How about that? Monique Jackson, until the bar just invisible. You ain't lying. Just lower and lower, lower, lower. Lower. This podcast is a musical and I didn't even know it. Okay. Capri says, say that, Sarah. I've been there. Ashley says, can we talk about the coin she wasted though? Who knows how many coins she wasted for 2 years just trying to get somebody. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, maybe I wasted coins for this one moment, but I probably been wasting coins forever trying to show you that I can reciprocate, that I don't want you to just be the one who pays for the dates, that I can pay for them too. Trying to buy your favorite fruit snacks that you didn't like since you was 5 years old and couldn't find them nowhere, but I found them on Amazon. Okay, she been wasting money. His masterpiece, forcing a man when he is not ready, is a recipe for disaster. Sis should move on and do her, and she has time to include him. She could, but I wouldn't wait another day. I sure wouldn't. Sure would not. Ashley says if he marries her, she's going to be bossy as HE double hockey sticks. I hope he doesn't. No, for real. Honestly, truly, they shouldn't be together. Because if you had to run into, let me finish. Let me summarize this. Although I am gonna rescue her, I am gonna rescue her, and it's a few of us decided we was gonna rescue her on the jet. But this is what I'm gonna say. This final answer, okay? It doesn't take all of this. If he, one of the things when I was dating my husband, and we had a great first date, right? And he lived in LA. He lived in LA. I lived in Dallas. We had a great first date. And you have great first dates, but we had a great first date. And he said some things to me after that first date, and I was like, "Okay, you different." And then a couple days later, he was like, "Can I fly to Dallas next week and take you to dinner?" And I was like, "Ooh, wait a minute, like you for real, for real?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm a grown man. A lot of fun, no games." I, you know what I'm saying? That's why. That's when lot of fun, no games. That's the goal right there. Lot of fun, no games. Tamir says, rescue her. I applaud her effort, or it would be 10 more years and she will still be calling him fiance. Okay, we're rescuing. That's it. Okay. Melissa said Sarah was like, say less. For sure. I wasn't even ready for it. Okay. So that was my girl. Oh, y'all. Okay, I would like to submit for your consideration yet another rescue. I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the smartest things I've ever seen, and to be honest, I think I'm gonna do it. Christmas is coming. Yes, I know it's October, and I know before y'all start complaining about how we skip right on past Thanksgiving, just hear me clearly. This story was important, and I wanted to share it with you, okay? It doesn't mean that Thanksgiving doesn't matter. I am skipping past Halloween because glory to the King. The devil doesn't have a holiday on my calendar. I'm skipping right past it. The only holiday that's next is Thanksgiving. Anywho, as I was saying, Cache said the majority did not agree to rescue. That's fine. Between the majority not agreeing to rescue and then us saying a jet, we'll send a life raft. Raft. How about that? Okay. So how about this? They're selling half Christmas trees. I know you're confused. Don't worry about it. I've got a picture. For those of you who are not watching because you had adult things to do and you couldn't be here with us, let me tell you something. Half of the Christmas tree. Oh, Shara Davis is the Halloween baby. We can't skip over her. All right. Well, it's gonna be your birthday, Shara. It's not gonna be anything else. Okay. Anywho, this what I'm saying. Half of a Christmas tree. Y'all know how y'all don't like to decorate the back part of the Christmas tree? Somebody said don't even worry about it. Somebody said don't even worry about it. Somebody said, here's half of the Christmas tree and put it, here you go. I like it. I like it. I saw the story. I saw the headline. At first, I didn't understand. I saw a picture of it and I said, that's the only part that matters anyway, is this front half. You can't see the back of the tree anyway. Why are we going to? I like it. Somebody said, are these half of the price too? They're on eBay. They're on what is Balsam Hill, which they have expensive Christmas trees on there. I looked and then I closed my browser. 'Cause for fake Christmas trees, I want a price, but I guess because 'cause they're supposed to last longer, whatever it is. When I first got married, all I've ever known are fake Christmas trees. When I first got married to my husband and we were having Christmas, they was talking about going Christmas tree shopping and was gonna go to the actual place where you get real trees. I don't know nothing about that. All my Christmas trees been plastic. But anywho, you can get this half a Christmas tree on eBay, Christmas Tree World, Balsam Hill, something that's called Hammer Schlemmer, which probably gonna be schlemmin' expensive. But this what I'm saying. This half a Christmas tree is a thing, and I would like to rescue them. I like it a lot. Joanne says, rescue that tree. It's legit. I like it a whole lot. Lamaya says, so you can only prop it up against the wall. Basically, for all of you, Naomi said, this is lazy. Really? Really? I don't. Oh, I was blessed by this. Monique says, I'm low key mad. I didn't think of this. You're not lying, Monique. I had the same exact thought. I had the same exact thought. Lee Living Life says, stop being lazy and get into that 360 decoration. Whew, 360. Really? I don't know. Takia says it's 2020. You can do what you want to. That's what I'm saying. I love it. Talk to Favor says, Sarah, please stop. We really don't like this hat. Lamaya says it's lazy but rescue. I would like to rescue. Since y'all wouldn't let me use the jet on the bride, can I please use the jet for this Christmas tree? I'm tired. Are y'all not tired? It's 2020 has not exhausted you. You want to decorate the whole Christmas tree? I'm tired. I have about half the energy of Christmas, and I would like half the energy of a Christmas tree. Shakina says, yes, lazy. Lazy? Joanne says, I'm buying one. I like it. Nikata says the half tree is nice. You're not lying. Valicia says, what do you think about no tree? Fine with it. 1 year. It was just Christmas just crept up on me. I wasn't expecting it this year. And I looked up and I said, I got some garland for you. I have some stockings around the fireplace, but I don't have the tree for you this year. And that's all right. Them kids was fine. I went to my mother's house. My mother had a tree for them. And I'm like, listen, look at how God provides. A ram in the bush. How about that? Marla Washington says less tree means less gifts. A blessing. I don't know if my kids are going for that. I like it. I like it a lot. Naisha says this is perfect for 2020. Sign me up, rescue, please. I like to rescue. Capri says no rescue. We're all still at home most of the time anyway. Tamika says I agree with it. I need me a tree. Renee says even ghetto wouldn't do this. You know what? Y'all hard to work with today because I thought it was great. Nicole saying, okay. Don says, heck, 2020 is only giving you half celebration anyways. This tree's not perfect for this year. Even if it don't sell again in 2021, is this not the perfect? How explain your year with a tree? Here it is. That's where we would land. Okay. VR Murdoch says rescue. Monique Jackson says, I'm done. It's only lazy if it's half and pre-lit. Lazy. If it's lazy, here I am, Lord. Send me. Okay. How about that? Tiffany Memphis says, I would get that tree. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm Jewel says ghetto beyond. You know what? Okay, Amber, you right. You know what? I wish, honestly, truly, I think that this half a Christmas tree though is just a sign that all things are possible. I think it's a sign that at the end of the day, there's creativity that hasn't been tapped into yet. And I already know who has time to be creative in 2020. We just trying to survive. Okay. We just trying to make it from one day to the next. But I'm telling you, this half a Christmas tree was somebody out here thinking, like, why would I decorate the whole tree? Let me just make half of it and put it up against the wall. And I think it's brilliant. There's probably some things that you have thought of, but haven't been able to implement. Or maybe there are other things down on the inside of you that you haven't tapped into yet because you don't have time to create. You know what you need to do? You need to get connected with the community where creatives just come together and they take the next step in their creative journey, and they just have this place where, what if there was like this place where there were just like thousands of classes where you could just get together and brainstorm and learn how to be productive, and maybe learn how to write, or maybe learn how to clear your mind so that you could just have blank space so that you could create, and maybe even it could help you with your stress and your levels of managing this hectic year. That, you know what, it reminds me a lot of Skillshare, because Skillshare is actually an online learning community for creatives. Who knows what's down on the inside of you that you don't know about because you're not connected with the community that's constantly creating? You know what I'm saying? Constantly just pulling things together. Okay. Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and more. Okay. There are so many ways that Skillshare's membership is valuable at this moment. And now is the time to do that thing you always wanted to do. Members get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands on projects and feedback from a community of millions. You know what I love about Skillshare? It's even got things for the kids, okay? Drawing, writing, and journaling, great ways to keep your creativity on its toes. You'd be surprised what interests you that you haven't been able to even try yet. You don't even know what you're capable of, and Skillshare is here to help you dig deeper into you, okay? You can explore your creativity at skillshare.com/evolve. And the first 1,000 people, hear me clearly, okay? The first 1,000 people to use our link will get a free trial of Skillshare premium membership. Okay. That's Skillshare.com/evolve. Skillshare.com/evolve. The first 1,000 people. Okay. It's probably, I think we get like 300 some thousand downloads. Let me tell you something. This is just for the first 1,000 people. You get the premium membership. Okay. When you get this premium membership, you can try classes like I've tried the Instagram worthy photography, where you can shoot, edit, and share with your brand, with Brandon Wolfle, about how to get your brand together and to make your Instagram really look more digestible if you're an entrepreneur or trying to be an influencer. That class is really helpful. So yeah, there it is. Skillshare.com/evolve. And maybe we'll be talking about your half of something next year. Maybe it won't be half a Christmas tree, maybe it'll be something else. How about that? All right. Moving on. Hail Mary. Hail Mary is when we just take a time and we say, you know what? That's all No sound at all? I don't understand. Say something. Huh? It's what? Huh? No. Sound on now. Sound back. You back, sis. We back. We have sound now. I need a song for this. I can't just let this moment pass. I need a song for this. What song? I almost let it go. Mm, how about it? It felt like you just wouldn't hear me anymore. Oh my. This is off the dome, okay? The devil thought he had this mic, huh? He plugged it up. Oh, glory. So I would. Can someone give God a praise for the sound being back in the middle of me trying to do my job? Audio had me down. Come on, Kimiko, that's my sister. Okay. Erica said should have rescued half of the tree. It's probably because some of the saints wouldn't rescue today, and there's division in the camp. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Lamaya says, "What song is that?" Um, it's Kurt Carr. I almost let go. What's the name of it? Isn't it almost let? What is it? It's Kurt Carr, right? Ain't it Kurt Carr? It felt like I just couldn't take life anymore. The devil thought he had me. Something came and grabbed me. He held me close. So this is called Ren and tell you to sing, please. Ouch. That's fine. Okay. Anyways, listen, I'm back like I never stopped. I'm moving on to the next Hail Mary story. This is why, this why this podcast be too long most of the time. Is because we just be on here not doing what we supposed to be doing and then stuff. But Jesus came and grabbed me. How I forget that it was Jesus who came and grabbed me in the middle of it. Okay. I don't know the official name of that song, but I do know it's Kurt Carr. And I do know that if you listen to it and tap into the words, that you might find yourself snotting somewhere. That you might find yourself that one and For Every Mountain. You want to have an encounter that reminds you of your great grandmother somewhere. You need to listen to For Every Mountain. Okay, my next Hail Joseph is a man I'd never listen. Not my type of music, but I saw the story. I know the name of the group, and because I know the name of the group, thought it was amazing. Richie Sambora. He has no regrets about leaving Bon Jovi to care for daughter Ava, who just turned 23. He said it was the right decision to step off the stage to be a full-time dad. Okay. He was the lead guitarist for Bon Jovi for 30 years before stepping away in 2013. First of all, his daughter, who was 23, years ago, she would have been what, 18? Okay, so yo, and once you get to the age 18, it can be easy to think that, like, okay, well, she's an adult now and whatever we miss, we miss. But I love this idea of him still saying, even at 18, even with this maybe being all that she's known for most of her life, that I'm going to take time from my career to be a full-time dad to an adult. Can you imagine how many father wounds could be healed if someone said at any point in their child's life, not just young kids but older kids, like, I'm going to step away, and in me stepping away, I'm going to take time to really be a full-time father. I thought that this was amazing. And I don't know if you guys are familiar. Well, obviously, most of us know the group rather, Bon Jovi. Oh, it's kind of tripping. Anywho, God kept. Oh, there we go. So yes, I love that. And I wanted you all to see that story. The Saints are still talking about me sinking. So that's fine. Jaleesa says, "That's beautiful. There's no wrong age to step in." Totally agreed. Uh, Amanda says, "So needed. That was beautiful of him." Sherelle says, "I thought that's what my biological father was doing. He changed his mind." Oh, I'm sorry, Sherelle. That's heartbreaking. But I do think that that's important. Like maybe we need to empower, well, we don't, we need men to step up, but maybe men do need to understand that no matter how long you've been out of your child's life, that you can step in and it can make a meaningful difference. I think that if we kept our hearts open, who knows, right? If we're able to keep our heart open to this type of reunion and then someone's able to deliver in a way that's important, like that's amazing, you know? I felt like that was amazing. So Tasha said a lot of healing can take place. Lee Living Life says it's never too late to step up to the plate and take back what the devil stole. Okay, how about that? Um, Victoria Kelty says we not logging off till the fly gets his proper respect. We're waiting, sis. Can I, guys? Whew, it's such a slippery slope, this here podcast. Because here's the thing. Do y'all want me to be honest? Okay, I'll be honest. I'm going to be honest. This is me being honest, okay? So, I've been watching all of the debates. I keep up with the news. I know what's happening politically in the world. I have an opinion about it. As a woman of faith, as an influencer, I have to be careful because when I release my information and my opinions, I it causes of a lot of issues, okay? This is what I'm going to say. I be trying to keep us together. When y'all don't want to rescue folks, that's one thing. We don't want to rescue somebody in Target, but politics is so serious and it is so important this election season that, like, I really don't try to create any room for division. And I really want people to really do their research and come to their own understanding and conclusions about what they want to do and what they feel is best for their communities in this season. And so you'll probably notice that I try to stay away from that because it is so divisive. And, you know, I'm trying to say this with wisdom. It is really divisive. I am concerned about I am concerned about a lot of things in this country. See, like now I'm being serious. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like turns into a whole thing. This is what I will say. I'm concerned about a lot of things in in this election. You want me to stop. But just let me say this. Just let me say this. I'm concerned about a lot of things in this election. I've been doing my research so that I can show up and use my voice responsibly. I am encouraging everyone to vote as well. But I think that the things that are happening in this season and in this country are way too serious for me to be up here hee about them because I don't ever want to take away or cause division within the delegation and maybe make someone, not be willing to hear an opinion that is different from theirs or an opinion that good, shut up. You want me to be quiet? Ah, Gina. You see what I'm saying? Does anyone understand what I'm saying though? That's what I'm saying. The retail boss says, I can appreciate that, sis. Yeah. Sandra says, way beyond the party. Sadal says, you did well with this statement. Jamila says, yes, please stay away from politics. Okay. How about that? How about that? Okay. So moving on. Okay. Victoria says, yes, we talking about the fly, not the debate. First of all, if y'all want to talk about flies, let's talk about flies. Flies are disrespectful. Flies are let me tell you something. Let me tell you, flies are so disrespectful that even though if I was Kamala, okay, let's just say I'm Kamala and I'm sitting there debating. Let's say I'm somebody else. Let's say somebody reading me for filth, right, on Instagram. No, we got to be somewhere in person. Let's say they reading me for filth at the grocery store and a fly land on their head. I would have said something. You know why that fly on your head? Cause of you and what's coming out your mouth. Okay. But you know why I wouldn't have said nothing? Well, I would have said something, but you know why I shouldn't have said something? Because flies are disrespectful. And that same fly I was pointing out been done dropped right onto your whole head. And now you sitting up there with a fly on your head and you don't even know it. Okay? Flies are disrespectful. Huh? How about that? I hate it. Okay. How about that? Natalie says that fly was that fly was comfortable. That fly, let me tell you, we got 18,000 people live in this house. As I've mentioned, my trash always full. Flies always in. It's a competition around here. Who can kill flies? Okay, that's all I'm going to say. How about that? Flies do what they do. Okay. Info said fly needs attention too. They sure do. Attention to be quiet and get on out of here. How about this? I will say it was petty that the Biden Harris campaign, it was very evish to start selling fly swatters. It was very evish. This is what I'm talking about being smart on your toes. It would have been 6 months before I was like, "We should sell fly swatters." And I'm just praying that God would make me faster on my toes because, like, whose idea was it to start selling fly swatters? Petty. Eve. Eve, come out of the campaign. Eve, come out of politics. Eve, please come out of politics, knowing better but not doing better. Please. Eve is all in politics, and we don't want you there. We don't want you there. How about that? Eve has been in politics since she ate from that tree. Politic. Look at you out here politicking. Okay. Moving on to our next story. The next story. Shanice hates my she hates my newscaster voice. And that's all right. God is good. All right, moving on to our next story. It's another recently shared a photo of him with Delonte West guard who this move came at for money. But now enjoying a horseback this for a lot of reasons. Bring the story in. Um, Why? When we restarted it. Mm-hmm. Oh, did the fly? It's showing I can see myself, but I don't know if they can hear me. Why? Black says I hear you just fine. Adrian says it's back. Oh, Lucifer. I tried to not talk about politics. And this is where we are. It's lagging. Let me turn my Wi-Fi off my phone. I don't know if that's going to do anything. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but I'm going to turn the Wi-Fi off my phone and see what happens. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh, I see movement. It's see. I We can hear you now. Delonte West, Mark Cuban, Hail Joseph. Okay. How about that? Can we just can we go with that? I just I want to make sure that it's still. Danielle says, "Do you always sit in that corner?" This is my same corner. I don't know what's happening. Why? Somebody said, "Let's just restart." Oh, I gotta start from Hail Mary. I gotta start from the advice question. Okay. I don't know about that. All right. Mark Cuban, Delonte. Oh, Shanice is so stressed over there. Don't even know how stressed she is. It is what it is. We're doing the best that we can. This is what we got. You know what I mean? You just gotta take what you take. Mark Cuban, Delonte West, big ups. Thank you for looking out for the homie, not just seeing him for his talent, but seeing him as a person and helping taking care. Okay, Marla Washington says I'll put in 5 on the Wi-Fi. If we're collection plate for a stronger Wi-Fi, this is why I rock with the delegation. They said, sis, if you need to upgrade your package, let me know. Gigi said it was a fly. I tried to not talk about politics and look, the whole Wi-Fi went down. God says it's not your lane. Don't do it. Okay. All right. So Delonte West, Mark Cuban. Next one. I'm at the Zoom through them. Okay. First of all, a young woman just went viral for posting her journey from janitor to nurse practitioner. We love to see it. We love to see a queen working to become who she wants to become in life. Okay. James Andredes, James, okay, began working on the custodial staff a decade ago at Bay State Medical in Springfield, Massachusetts. She took the janitor position just to get a firsthand look at the field of nursing, which was her true passion. Let me tell you something for real, for real. This is a word for somebody. This is probably why the stuff was freezing. She took a job that was not in the field that she wanted, but it was in the vicinity of where she wanted to be. You're career planning. You're trying to step into purpose. You're trying to determine who it is you want to be. And you think the only way you can enter is if you enter in at the top or you enter in at that lane. But she took a position that seemingly has nothing to do with being a nurse practitioner, but at least got her in the room. Sometimes the most important gift you can give yourself is the ability to be in the room if you are willing to humble yourself to get there. That means that you may have to be willing to take a pay cut. You may have to be willing to be seen maybe as like essential, but perhaps not one of the people who are like one of the decision makers. Whatever that is, though, you have to be willing to do what is necessary to get in the room, because while she was in that position, she got a firsthand look at the field of nursing, which was her true passion. She says it's tough to be the person that cleans. If I had to go back and do it again, I would. It's so worth it. Even if it was cleaning, as long as I was near patient care, I'd be able to observe things. I thought it was a good idea. We love to see a queen, and not just because she became a nurse, but because she saw now in proper context. There is something to be said. I don't know where you are right now. Oh my, I feel it coming for you. I don't know where you are right now, but I want you to be able to connect where you are with where you're headed. That is the most important thing that you can do in your life. Sometimes we can get so frustrated with where we are now that we don't see that this is connecting to a long-term goal. I had a friend of mine, she slid into my DMs and she was explaining to me where she is now. And where she is now, she's kind of frustrated with, because she feels like she's going backwards. She feels like she's further, but she is where she is now, so that she can say, so that she can make a change, so that she can ultimately create a foundation. Seeing where you are now properly is everything. And so she says, I was able to interact with the nurses. I would see patients coming and going from the operating room. It was my first time seeing what it really is to be a nurse, and it piqued my interest. I was excited to learn more. She put our plan in motion in 2010 by enrolling in a nursing program, and in 2014, she graduated with a bachelor's degree in nursing. Despite having her degree, it was nearly 2 years before she was hired as an RN at Bay State, forcing her to keep her custodian job. Oh my, it gets even deeper. Qualified but not promoted. Qualified to do it. Put the work in to do it. She waited 6 years from 2010 to 2016, because it was 2 years after she graduated that she was hired on. She spent 6 years at a custodian as a custodian, 6 years viewing what she was passionate about. 6 years. We be tired after 6 months. Be real with yourself. 6 months. Hmm. Hmm. We be tired after six. Why you hold up? I hold up. Oh, Tina. Good night. Remember when Beyonce on Me, Myself, and I, and she on the video, she was like, me and your four kids, four, and then she held up, y'all, I just said 6 years and held up four fingers. It's the Wi-Fi. It's the Wi-Fi. It's the MiFi. It's the Levi's. It's my electrolytes. It's my dissolving. I'm tired of the Wi-Fi, and I'm tired of today and what it has tried to hand me, and I reject it. Amen. I didn't even understand what you were talking about. Cause okay, in my defense, in my defense, when you go to make six, you put up, but I was talking with my other hand. How about that? How about that? Marissa says you just need some carbs. Couldn't agree more. I'm about to go make a cake. You know what? I tried to bring good energy into this podcast. I tried. I tried. I tried to bring good energy into this podcast, and that's it. So, how about that? I haven't eaten the way that I usually eat in almost a month. It'll be a month on October 14th, and I think this is proving to us that I need carbs. Okay. Amber said, "What kind of cake? Chocolate cake with chocolate chips, chocolate pound cake." Shantique says, "Start over tomorrow. Sis will be here." Can't. When I tell you got stuff to do for the rest of the week, and this has gone downhill. Anywho, um, James, come help me. As a nurse practitioner, I need you to come take my blood levels and check because something is going wrong. Okay. James, once she began her new position, she posted an inspiring photo of all three of her work badges at the facility from over the years. The post quickly received thousands of comments and shares across multiple platforms. Okay. She's humbled to be able to inspire others. Okay. Custodian, registered nurse, nurse practitioner, trauma surgery. And she looks good in all of these photos, unlike the way that I look right now on this podcast. I'm tired of it. You know what it is? You know what it is? I know what it is. It's probably the fact that I don't have a community of people in an app that could just inspire me to continue my journey of weight loss. Like, not for nothing, it's probably the fact that I just need like a strong support system right now. Maybe I've come to a point, I've been doing it all by myself up until now, but maybe I've come to a point where the only way to this next dimension of not eating carbs is if I do it with support. You know what I mean? When I first started this journey, I said to myself, I'm going to do this by myself because this is a lifestyle thing. It's not just like a short term thing. And I want to do what's sustainable for me. And I've been trying to do it on my own. But you know what? I am reminded that I don't have to do it by my own self. I am reminded in this moment that I don't have to do this on my own self. My own self don't have to do this. I don't have to do this on my own self. There are other ways that I can do this. Okay. I don't have to do it. Okay. Because getting in shape doesn't have to be about losing a specific amount of weight or a magic number on a scale. At the end of the day, it's about building healthier habits and feeling better about yourself. If fitting into that favorite pair of jeans is your goal, great. But there are many reasons you might want to practice self care, and every person is different. I want to tell you about Noom. Okay. Noom adjusts to your lifestyle. Okay. Noom, they teach you the psychology behind the decisions you make and then help you keep track of everything from workouts and steps to analyzing your diet and recommended healthy recipes. I need Noom. It's time for me to have Noom so that I can have my mind back. Because right now my mind is gone. And I need a community. I need people to help me understand where my mind went in the process of me trying to do this by myself. Okay. You can name specific goals you want to achieve and or have achieved with Noom more than just weight loss. For example, you can say better self care, feeling confident in clothing, more energy, or just an overall goal. Okay. Flexibility. Noom works with your lifestyle. How can you eat what you want in moderate? It helps you to eat what you want in moderation because you learn how to control your habits. Okay. You don't have to change it all in one day. Small steps make big progress. Sign up for your trial at noom.com/evolve. I'll see you on there. I quit. I'm going to get the help and support that I need because right now has proven to me so much about me that I did not know. What do you have to lose? You can visit noom.com/evolve to start your trial today. That's noom.com/evolve. Okay. Aisha has Noom. She says, girl, they text you on the app, encourage you. I've been with Noom for 2 years. Okay. How about that? That's amazing. If I had a new membership, I would have held up 6 fingers instead of 4. But no, I held up 4. And I'm gonna be thinking about that all day. I'm gonna have flashcards where people just hold up a number and I have to fast draw which hands to hold up just to stay on my life. Okay. Erica says, I'm a Noomer. Love that. Love that you're a Noomer. Okay. Um, we have an advice section. But honestly, today, I'm not even sure that we want advice from somebody who held up 4 fingers instead of 6. So I'm going to just, I'm going to offer what I have. Okay. And we're going to see what happens. Okay. Tyra says, I need accountability. Can't do it alone. Sound like Noom is what you want. Okay. Noom is what you need. Okay. So let's see. The advice question. Girl said, now, specifically, this person does listen to the podcast, and she is specifically not just asked for me, but she is also asked for the delegation. So I need you to put on your listening ears, okay? Put on your listening ears so that we can hear this question and bring the best of ourselves to it, okay? So, um, my 25th birthday is just 3 weeks away, but I don't feel like celebrating. I am struggling with where I am and where I thought I would be. I thought I would be married with kids, a career, etc., but my reality is slightly different. I am a college graduate, class of 2019, high school teacher and entrepreneur, but I'm also single and celibate with no prospects or children, and I'm struggling with being okay with that. All my other friends are married or have kids. I know I'm still young as people constantly tell me, but the struggle is real. How do I move past this feeling and fear that I might not settle down or have a family? Okay. This is such a great question because so many people in different age ranges have this question because they come to this place and they feel like their life doesn't look like what they had in mind. They're 25, they're 35, they're 45, right? And we're constantly forced with coming to a space where we are accepting our reality over the expectation we may have had or the expectation that society placed on the inside of us. I think falling in love and accepting our reality can be very challenging if we don't deal with the steps connected to acceptance. And that is assessment, that is grief, that is disappointment. You have to acknowledge all of those feelings. I think it can be kind of cringy when we just say, like, girl, you're young, even though I do want to say, like, girl, you're young, you have time. Because the reality is, this is a truth that women experience even in later ages. So I don't think it's just about you being young. I think it's about you coming to a place where you're able to accept that your reality is great for who you are. Your reality is perfect for who you are. Your reality has gifts and love and all of these different incredible things attached to it. Your reality is someone else's dream. Now, that sounds great when we're living in our highest thought, but there are some expectations that we should really dissect. Like, for instance, where did this expectation come? Was this something that society kind of forced into us at a young age, that we're supposed to be married at a certain age, that our life is supposed to look like this at a certain age? And so, how have those ideas shaped our landmarks? Why aren't we coming to a place where we're willing to celebrate the fact that we are a college graduate, that we are a teacher and an entrepreneur? Those are all incredible, incredible goals that you have accomplished that someone hasn't even scratched the surface on, and they're literally looking at your life perhaps and saying, I wish I would have graduated college. I wish that I was an entrepreneur. I wish that I was teaching people and connecting with the next leaders of our society and culture. And so I think that you have to come to a place where you're willing to accept your life in every stage and every level. That's number one. Because if you can't accept it and embrace it and fall in love with your reality, it's going to be challenging for someone else to do so. Core was in on this podcast one time, and she was talking about how single people are always talking about being single, but they aren't necessarily doing anything to meet other people or be in an environment. Core said to go in the Home Depot with your high heels on, looking for something on the top shelf, and have somebody come out, and then maybe, who knows, right? I'm not going to tell you put on your heels and go to Home Depot unless that just confirms something that God has been speaking to you. But perhaps, I know people don't necessarily, at least it used to have a negative stigma. I don't know if it still does. Online dating. Be honest about your profile. Be honest about what you're looking for. That's an opportunity for you to connect with other people. We have a pastor at our church. He and his wife literally met on Tinder, but they were very honest on their profile about who they were and where they were in life and what they wanted. Put your reality out there, but don't do it in a way where you need someone to accept and validate you. Do it in a way where you're like, I'm just going to put it out there, see what happens, but I'm also going to continue loving and enjoying my life. You are 24, about to turn 25. At 24, I was single, and I was really thinking I was going to be single for the rest of my life. And I was so grateful for that idea, because I really felt like I had made a lot of challenging decisions leading up to 24, and I was grateful for the opportunity to kind of finally figure out who I am and take care of myself. You have, like, we call them turns, right? Like, you're not totally who you're going to be yet. You still have a few changes to make on your insides, a few things that God's going to give you in terms of confidence, vision, and purpose. And so sometimes God keeps us from being in relationship with people because they're going to be in relationship with a version of us that will no longer exist in a few years. And so I think in the process of loving on yourself, of creating new activities and discovering who you are, that you're going to be introduced to a new version of who you are. I'm going to say this one thing, then I'm going to see what the delegation is saying. I did an interview with Karen Civil that's going to be on Woman Evolve TV, and she was talking about one of the things that she's been doing during the pandemic is she has this jar of like 150 things, and she pulls a thing out of the jar every day, and that's like her something new to try. They range from like making a flower arrangement to like taking herself on a picnic. Like, those are the types of things that you do where you end up learning so much about yourself and enjoying your own company, so much so that when you're dating, you kind of realize, like, I'm a gift. So if you don't see that gift, that's your bad. But like, I enjoy spending time with myself. I love doing X, Y, and Z, and you fall in love with yourself in a new way. So let me see. Brianna says dating in these times is the ghetto. Lord, just send me someone with PT energy. Mariah says, literally was just considering it, sis. Do say more, but can we say before? Oh, they must have been talking to each other. Jaleesa said, around her, Costco might be the move. That's where the doctor shop. First, Shanice is going to get a Costco membership when the podcast is over. TR says, core is right. Instead of Home Depot, go to Lowe's. Amanda says, I'm a gift. Okay. Absolutely. Um, Lee living, oh, they're talking to each other. Delana says, I'm about to be 44, divorced, totally not the life I expected, currently single. I listened to PT, the 5 keys to identifying your soulmate, and that helped me for where I am and where I'm going. I will tell you another thing, statistics are beginning to show that millennials are getting married later in life than baby boomers. Part of the reason why they believe that millennials are getting married later in life is because they've, one, seen the divorce rate and take marriage very seriously. Two, it is harder for a millennial to establish a life than it was for the baby boomer generation. And a lot of times, men, especially, I think, don't necessarily want to get married or create a life that is established until they feel like they have fulfilled what it means to be a man, which I think there's some toxic masculinity in that as well. But I think that those are all narratives that we have to consider when talking about like what's happening with our counterparts and why doesn't there seem to be any suitable people for us to be with. I do think that empowerment of women has probably left men trying to figure out, like, is it okay for me to be a stay-at-home dad? How can I be comfortable with her making more money than me, with her being more vocal than me? This is a new generation of women. And I really do think that as we see men continue to like grow and evolve, that we're going to see them become more comfortable with the women who we have become. Having said that, I've met my husband. I know a lot of women who have met men who are in the millennial age group who are committed to having faithful God exist. But I think loving yourself first, becoming comfortable and accepting of your reality is the first key, and then being honest when entering the dating scene, however you choose to enter it. So, amen. Lead Living Life says, I want to pay down my student loans and be a homeowner before I think about marriage and kids. See, and that's just like not the kind of things that people were saying before. She's like, I want to pay down my student loans and be a homeowner. Like, those just aren't the kind of things. Like, I want to be a homeowner. That, like, before it was kind of like the only way we could accomplish those things is if we did them through marriage. But now we have a generation who can do those types of things without marriage. And so that is pushing things back further and further, where you want to be established, you want to be sure and certain of yourself. And I think that that does change the dating game quite a bit. Sherelle says, go to Planet Fitness. Kimberly says, whatever you do, sis, don't settle just because it fits in your own timeline. Trust God's timing and plan for your life. His ways are better than ours. I think like the sweet spot of where you want to be is when you come to a place, and like not in one of those like, okay, when I no longer want a man, that's when God's gonna bring my man, like not that kind of thing. But like where you really come to a place where you're like, God, if you don't bring anyone into my life, I am comfortable enough in who I am and the life that I have, whether that's through exploring new activities, traveling, becoming a homeowner, where you're like, I'm okay with myself. Because the reality is, in marriage, there are going to be moments where you have to be okay with yourself. You have to be content with yourself so that you can help support another person, so that you can build your family. Tragic things happen in people's lives where their spouse is lost in some capacity, and they don't know who they are anymore. And so, like, you have to come to a place where you are solid and content with who you are and not just wanting to complete this timeline or picture of what your life should be. And when you live from that place, it doesn't matter whether or not someone comes or not or doesn't, because you have come to that place where you love who you are. Okay. How about that? Um, okay. Ah, Taberi said Planet Fitness is where it's at, honey. Come on, Club Fitness. Club Planet Fitness. Okay. I am Jamari says, yes, I want to have a life before being someone's wife. I want to feel whole and so self-fulfilled before marriage. And I will just say this, now I'm moving on. Okay. The reality, you can come to this and say, God, if you bring someone one day, that's be fine. But if you don't, that's okay too. Like, that is the sweet spot. And I feel like, I think maybe somewhere in the back of my head, I thought maybe one day I would get married. As a matter of fact, I did. I just thought I was going to be in my 40s when I got married again. And God kind of expedited that, I think, because He wanted to make sure I was out here doing the Lord's work and not out here being skinny for nobody else but Jesus. Okay. All right. I have some questions that came in on Instagram. Okay. And because I got these questions on Instagram, I'm going to read them. Okay. How about that? Tia wants advice for young women discovering their newfound womanhood. She'll be 21. You know, at 21, at 21, that is an age where you're like really not a teenager anymore. And you're also stepping into this like I don't even want to call it authority, but I want to say an acknowledgement of your adulthood. I feel like 21 is when you really begin to acknowledge adulthood. By 21, you're probably have been employed or are employed in some capacity. You understand that life costs so much money, but you also understand that life is a lot of fun. Like it really is a sweet age because you're aware enough that you can't just be a clown forever, right? But you're also like have you can still have clown tendencies without them messing up the rest of your life, but you also know that you can buckle down and really turn things around. And so what would I say? I would say that at 21 to really come to a place where you are living within the framework of the woman you want to become. I feel like 21 is a great age to trim any fat, like anything that I don't really want to carry on into my future, I need to start actively dissolving right now. Dissolve to evolve, 21. Okay. What are you going to start dissolving at this age so that you can evolve into the woman you are? Now, the framework of the woman you are is going to be bigger than where you are right now. Maybe you want to have a certain confidence, you want to you want a certain amount of money, you want to do X, Y, and Z. All of those things are going to be bigger than where you are right now, but you want to live within the boundaries of that woman. What type of relationships does she have? What type of friendships does she have? Who is she in those friendships? Who is she in those relationships? You're not going to execute well 100% of the time, but you want to live in the framework of that. The worst thing you can do at 21 is to live outside of the framework of that, because you're going to wander and be random and open to anything, and people are going to come into your life and influence your identity and who you are. I think the best thing that you can do is really start honing in on the framework of who you want to be. Sahara says at 21 years of age, you're still growing into your womanhood. Indeed. Lee Living Life says 21 says, I was still wilding out and in the club. Eve was in full effect. I wasn't going to get into my 21. I was just saying like 21. Okay. I want to say your name right, but I'm afraid that I'm going to mess it up. But I'm gonna say what you said, okay? I'm gonna call you KT. Said when sis said you can't be a clown forever, I thought that 21 is about when you're like, I can clown, but I can't do too much more clowning than this. Okay. This is pretty much too much. So yes, that's what I'm saying. Just live within the framework of who you want to be. Start making decisions from that place, and then you can begin to feel that identity. Sarah said 21 was wild. 21, Abia says, I was a whole clown at 21. I told you clowning. Shakina says, I'm 21. I just want to be financially stable by the time I'm 30. So let's live in the framework. What type of decisions do we have to make? Who do we have to become? What do we need to save in order to do that? Okay. I'm going to take one more question. Um, let's see. Someone said, what's one lesson you would tell your single self in your 20s? Um, I would say to live with the energy of that girl from Target. Mm, Make a decision. I think the worst I think the worst decision that I made in my 20s as a single person was letting someone else make a decision about whether or not I would be in their life. How does someone else determine where I'm going to be present? I think I would have taken my power back. Okay. How about that? Let me see. Hmm. Okay, I feel like some of these, because that's like how to deal with feeling stuck, and I feel like we talked to that a little in 25. Shanice, can you come here real quick? They said they want to see you, and I just want them to see your beautiful face. Come here. Oh, Shanice. Oh, there she is. Shashi. All right. Okay. This podcast is weird. It's all right. Life has been hard before. Um, okay, so someone says, do you answer questions offline? I try to get in my DMs as much as possible. Like I said, okay, so I don't this podcast has been weird. But you know what, Sha? Life is weird. Life can get very strange sometimes. And that is just evident. When I log on to BetterHelp, Ashley says, Shanice, we need to send you a trophy because she has to deal with me all. So it says, we appreciate you, Shanice. That's right. Hey girl, hey sis, hey Shanice, we love you. Ooh, Jaleesa said, it's Shanice. Hey girl, hey, you're the best. Okay, this podcast is weird. Life is weird, and that's why you need BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online counseling service that allows you to connect with licensed professionals. You can do that on your cell phone. You can text them. You can even do video or phone sessions, and your therapist is available at any time to help you. The app is right there on your phone. Anything you share is confidential. Licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, anxiety, sleeping, anger, self esteem, stress, relationships, trauma, family conflicts, grief. I know that this podcast has been weird, but it's probably given you a lot of joy. And sometimes we need joy because life can be super, super tough. So I am glad to offer my life as a sacrifice for your joy. But I also want you to do the work for you to really come to a place where you have peace consistently, and that is through therapy. Therapy is amazing. Sometimes you need a safe space where you can talk and connect with people about your inner thoughts without being judged. And of course, we have our prayer closet, but sometimes we need someone to talk back to us, and we need someone who can help us kind of navigate our way to the healthiest thoughts. Best of all, what I love about BetterHelp is that it's truly an affordable option. Woman Evolve with Sarah Jakes Roberts listeners get 10% off your first month with discount code EVOLVE. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/evolve. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/evolve. Amen. Okay, so it's time for a snack. You know, let me tell you about snack time. We learned over the weekend that someone we knew had been diagnosed with COVID, right? And we were obviously shocked and prayerful for them, but we also went and got tested ourselves because we had been around them, I think, about 72 hours before they got diagnosed. And so we wanted to take the time to make sure that as a family, we were all free and clear, right? So we went and got tested. But there was about this 4 or 5 hour gap between when we got the news that they had it and when we went to go get tested. And in the process, I was like so peaceful. Like I wasn't afraid, I wasn't worried, I wasn't alarmed. And I wish I could say that it was like because I intentionally like veered my energy in that direction or my spirit in that direction. But I don't know. I just came to this place where I was like, whatever happens, God's got me. Like, whatever the outcome is, God's got me. Like, I am believing that it's going to be clear, and it was. And I am believing that everyone in our house is healthy, and they were. But I was also at a space where, like, I was not going to allow fear to dictate my life. And that snack really stuck with me because I thought about all these different moments where I have allowed fear to dictate my life, where I allow fear to have the final say. And in that moment, facing one of the scariest things that any this country, this nation, this world is facing right now, fear was not the boss of me. And I just had to take a moment and really thank God for bringing me to that space of peace and trust within Him. And, I haven't always lived there, which is why it stood out in my mind because I was just kinda like, "Why how could you have this peace in the middle of this?" But I just feel like God has been so consistent that I believe that whatever happened, that his consistency would follow me there. And I think when you live in knowledge of that, there's not a lot of things that can make you afraid or a lot of things that can scare you. Now, I'm not saying that, I'll never be afraid again. I'm not saying that I won't have any anxieties or worries because sometimes we get off center and we're not living in that space anymore. But if you're listening to today's podcast, like out of all of the random, weird, strange things that have happened today, what I want to leave you with the most is this notion that like fear cannot dictate your life, your reactions, your next, your future, unless it is given a microphone and a platform. It can whisper in an audience, but your faith can speak louder than that. It can whisper from the lobby, but what you allow to live on that main stage, that main platform of your life is so important. And so obviously I'm thankful and I thank God for the opportunity to really have protection, continue protection over our family in that area. But I don't want my protection to come down to things falling in line with the way that I want. I think the protection extends even when things don't look like what I wanted them to. I'm reminded of Job, though he slay me, yet shall I trust in him. This idea that the only way God is protecting me is if I don't experience X, Y, and Z. But the truth is that I can face X, Y, and Z and God still be in it and protecting me. So I wanted to share that snack with you all because praise the Lord. Okay. Sarah said, how you gonna hate from outside the club? Fear? You can't even get in. You didn't even, first of all, only the delegation. Only the delegation would say have fear is hating from outside the club. And I love you. It's why I love you. Okay. Nicole Cunningham said this in your message on Sunday came right on time. If you guys haven't heard it, I want you all to check out Power Deficit. I hope that you guys can find it's on YouTube, so it should be very easy to find. But that was a message I preached for the Potter's House Dallas on Sunday, and it was pretty good. Good to me, not like good, like I'm patting my own back, but it literally came to me first because I am exercising belief in an area I've never had to exercise belief in before. And it's really been stretching me. But I think in the process, I'm receiving the evidence of the stretch and the peace that I had when facing something that would have stressed me out. Don't sleep on yourself. Sometimes when you're facing something and you would have had a reaction that was, maybe different from the reaction you currently have, like, let me say this the way I hear it in my head, okay? The version of you now has a more wise, a more strategic, a more patient, a more peaceful reaction to certain things that would have gotten under your skin before. That is evidence that your growth is showing up in your life. So don't just gloss over that. Really take a minute to dissect, acknowledge, and congratulate yourself for that growth, and then get back in the womb and grow again. Okay, I'm praying for you all. I'm going to go make I'm not making cake. I have to make cake. I'm not making cake. We can't let for Shanice. All right, listen. I love you guys. God, life be out here doing its thing. And here we are, still pressing through, trying to make a way out of no way. And this evidence, this podcast is evidence that it can start rough but end well. God, bless my heart. Touch me. Fill me up. Give me peace. Give me patience. And I ask that you would help my delegation to also say a prayer over themselves, that they would come to a space and to a place where they say, God, fill me with your spirit. God, touch me in this area. God, help me to grow in this area. And as we open our mouths and give you an invitation into the areas where we need you the most, Father, ask that we're not blind, that we see it, that we see how you've come through, that we see how you've shaped us, that we see how you've changed us and made us better. We thank you, God, because we recognize that you're already standing at the door knocking, and it's only our job to let you in. So we say, have your way, great God that you are, in every area that we need it the most. I pray that your presence starts showing up right now, right where they are, and that they leave this connection, this opportunity together with peace, love, confidence, and power. In Jesus' name, amen. I love you. You look dusty.